Hi, everybody. It's Tim. It's great to be back with you today as we consider Scripture together. Our reading for today was just Numbers chapter 32, that one chapter. And when you get there, you notice that we're coming toward the end of the journey of the Israelites in the desert for 40 years. As Numbers started, it started in the early days, quite a while ago, with that generation that came out of Egypt and they were delivered from slavery, camping around Mount Sinai for about a year, and then headed for the promised land, and were not willing to go in. They saw that the land was just the way God described, and look at those grapes and the fruit of the land. But boy, these guys are big, and that's what they were afraid of. They said, "There's no way we can go in and conquer this land. We're like grasshoppers compared to them." They wouldn't go. And so God said, because of your lack of faith, you'll wander in the desert until 40 years have elapsed. And now that 40 years is coming to an end, and they're nearing the Jordan River. They've defeated the Amorite people on the eastern side and the two great kings, and then the Moabites who are trying to uh, influence Balaam to put a curse on them. But while they were there, approaching the Jordan River, people began to look around. It says the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of cattle. And when they saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead, that behold, the place was a place for cattle. Well, it is. It's suitable. There are two major rivers that go through that area, and as a result, there's water for the cattle and there's grass that grows there. And so they looked around at the land, and it was okay, a good place for cattle. They've got cattle. Um, and they came to the conclusion that it'd be good if we just stayed right here where we are instead of crossing over the Jordan River. After all, uh, if we claim this land, there'd be that much more land on the other side for the other 10 tribes. Let's just stay right here. You read that they said, if we found grace in thy sight, they're talking to Moses, let this land be given unto thy servants for possession and bring us not over Jordan. Just wanted to stay right there. You know, people get in trouble sometimes when they start looking around, like Samson. Uh, he had a problem with that. Too many times he found himself looking at an attractive Philistine lady and thinking to himself, "That's what I want." Yeah, I've known people like that. You have too, and I've known some unfortunate marriages that result when we look at things in terms of a human perspective. How do things look? Looks pretty good to me. Looks like this could be a good match for me, and don't even have to pray about it. I think that was what the people in these two tribes were thinking. Don't even have to pray about it. Looks good, good for cattle. We've got cattle. Let's just stay right here. And of course, Moses was upset. He said to the children of Gad and the children of Reuben, "Shall your brethren go to war, and shall you stay here? And wherefore shall discourage ye the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord hath given them?" You see, Moses was thinking back to Kadesh Barnea when the Israelites didn't want to go into the land, and the result was all these years in the desert. And he's thinking to himself, it's going to happen all over again, and I don't have 40 more years in me, which was true. He didn't. But the tribes agreed that, no, we'll go across the Jordan River to fight. We'll let our families stay here. We won't even build barns or sheds, but we'll go across to fight for the land with the other tribes. And when they have their land, then we'll settle back over here. And Moses agreed. He said, "Be sure your sin will find you out if you if you don't keep your agreement." We misunderstand that sometimes, but because there are sins, it seems like people do get away with. But the point is, God knows, and you're going to stand before Him one of these days and give an account for every single sin that you've committed. But they agreed, okay, we'll go and fight with the other tribes. No problem, right? But there is a problem. And it's this. And it's something that we need to consider when we're making decisions or looking at our own lives. The plan sounded good to them, but God's best for them was on the other side of the Jordan in the land that he had promised. This was not the land that God promised to these people. I think they missed out by something even better, God's best for them by staying there. A lot of times, people miss God's best for them because they settle for what looks good to them right now. Maybe it works out, it seems good for a while. One of the problems they ran into in later years was that, when the Assyrians attacked, these tribes were the first to go. They were not protected by the river like the other tribes were. Just one of the problems that developed. There's a misunderstanding, of course, over the altar that they built there. It almost gave them a civil war. Looked good, but it wasn't the best for them. Those are the choices I'd like you to consider, my friends. When you're making a decision and you're thinking, I don't even have to pray about this, it looks so good. Pray about it. And ask yourself, is this good or is this God's best? And set your heart on the very best God has for you. Well, I'll be thinking about that today, my friends. Get in the Word tomorrow. And we're looking at two chapters 33 and 34. And can't wait to see you then. Have a great day.